Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for coming down tonight to celebrate this special occasion. Now, when we think of Daniel, a lot of things come to mind, like his singing ability, his stage presence, his sense of humor, being a Nintendo 64 enthusiast, and a connoisseur of a few frothies. He goes by numerous nicknames and is widely admired by all who know him. I guess you could say that Daniel and I go way back. So I'd like to take you on a journey. I'd like to take you all on a journey through some of the things that come to my mind when I think of my brother. Back in the day, it all started quite well for us brothers. We were very close. Spent every day playing together in the backyard, playing basketball, video games, tennis, and but as with many siblings, our playful childhood game soon turned into a fierce, competitive rivalry. Losing to a brother was simply unacceptable, and whenever we did, we got mad. I must confess that as kids, I teased Daniel a fair bit for whatever reason imaginable, which often resulted in me getting hit, cursed at, or sent to my room. On one occasion, Daniel must have been annoying me, so I decided to throw a soft inflatable pool ball at his face, as brothers do. Well, that backfired, big time, because Daniel's nose started bleeding like a tap, and the shock got him crying and potentially igniting his asthma. Dad screamed at me, and I just ran for the hills. I mean, who'd have thought a soft, inflatable, feather-like pool ball could possibly cause that much damage? It went both ways, though. Many years ago, when I was quite severely ill, Daniel and I were playing table tennis when I suddenly had a dizzy spell, lost my balance and went crashing into the lamppost nearby. I was quite dazed, but I could clearly make out the fact that my brother was laughing hysterically. Like he is right now. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, it sounded like he was having the time of his life. He didn't come to see if I was okay or help me out. He was just having a jolly good laugh about the whole situation. But the thing is, that's just how Daniel copes with painful situations. Even if he injures himself, more than likely he'll start laughing about it. So when I was almost fainting on the ground that day, I knew that Daniel's laughter was a sign of mutual support. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Something I'll always remember about Daniel is all the time we've spent playing video games and how damn good he is at them. From endless laps in Mario Kart, slamming down double dunks on NBA Hang Time, shooting skags and playing co-op on Borderlands 2. Best times, man. But the game we've spent most hours playing is the aptly titled Super Smash Brothers. We've spent countless hours playing these games and enjoyed all the quality time that comes with it. It gives us the shared chance to vent our frustrations, to escape from the world for a little bit and just hang out. We don't necessarily talk much while we play, but the deep brotherly bond that we have goes more without saying. It must be said though, that Daniel is a natural at video games. He excels at everything. So picture this, I bought a new game once, played it for about a day and familiarized myself with the controls. This guy just comes in, goes up against me for the first time, having never played this game before, and gives me a beating equivalent to something out of the Game of Thrones. I mean, it was nasty, it was humiliating, it was bloody, and after that, I didn't even want to play anymore. The man can lay down a beating, and apparently I'm more than happy to take one. So video games are a big part of his life. So much so that Daniel is the type of guy that doesn't age or get older. He levels up. For those of us that have seen Daniel perform on stage know that he has a commanding presence. Put a microphone in his hand and he becomes very outgoing and animated. Beyond the stage, the Daniel I know best is the quiet guy. A man of few words. A profound thinker who doesn't always express himself outwardly, but when he does, people listen. I got to know Daniel even better during our holiday in Sri Lanka. For a full month we shared the same hotel rooms and spent every day together. It was during this trip that we visited a chapel where our ancestors once lived, and we had a good chat with the nuns that now live there. Now, Daniel's always had a certain charm over the ladies. And these nuns took quite a liking to Daniel, I must say. They admired his quietness, reserved qualities, So much so that they actually came up to us and said, can we keep the quiet button? We will find him a nice Sri Lankan girl, no? No? Oh man, when I heard that, it was like the highlight of my trip right there. But thing is, Daniel's made similar impressions on various people, especially the ladies. So whenever this happens, I start thinking like Chris Tucker from the Rush Hour movies. Yeah. You know, things like, tonight my boy becomes a man. Come on, Crouching Tiger, don't hide that dragon. Oh, tonight we're gonna get some Mushu. He's the Mushu man. On the other hand, Daniel's personality swings from quiet to extrovert once he's consumed a few beverages. One funny thing that stands out for me is how it sometimes takes him about 5 seconds to even articulate a response during conversation when he's tipsy. So I'd say something, and he just stares back at me with a blank expression, a clumsy smile, for about 5 seconds, and then responds to what I've said. Now, I suppose in video game terms, that would be called lagging. All jokes and funny stories aside, I'm very proud of you, Daniel. I admire how you can see the best in people, how you can find the time in every day to do selfless deeds like your Relay for Life initiative. How you can, sorry, I'm getting emotional. You know, but honestly, like, to me you are more than just a brother. In fact, the first memory that I can even recall is of the first time I saw you as a baby in hospital. I can so clearly remember walking up to the hospital bed and Mum saying, "Be gentle," as I gave you a kiss on the head. You are my first memory, and you have since made invaluable contributions to my life, our family, and everybody gathered here tonight. I wish you the very best as you unlock the next level of life. Happy 21st birthday, bro. You're the man.
Alright, I don't think I can top that. But yeah, usually I would try to make a fool of myself and embarrass myself in situations like this. But I wanted to talk about something that means a lot to me and something I've never really shared with people before. So back in year 10, I worked for an aged care facility as part of like a community service in my high school for a couple of days. And through the couple of days, I met an old man called Nick. And he was probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I mean, bonded straight away. So he invited me back to his little room and we would just spend our time playing chess. we would play chess, right? And just talk about our lives. And it was through these conversations that I learned that out of all the people that he knew, only his daughter would come and visit him. And even then, it'll be like once every few months. So he was actually a pretty lonely person. So he would just spend his days like getting up, reading the paper, only watching a bit of TV because of his eyesight, and just playing chess by himself. So he was really appreciative of me being there for him. And yeah, I really liked it too because despite our age difference, I thought that I made a friend with him. But despite this, after the couple of days I was there, I actually never went back to visit him. And that was probably one of my biggest regrets. But this regret, what I learned from this was that the importance of being there for people, and I count myself lucky because there's so many people that are there for me. And so I'd just like to take a moment to just thank a few people in particular. So I'll start with my best friends. Samantha, I don't know where you are, but you're incredibly awkward and silly, but I think that's why you make such an amazing friend. So thank you. Jared and John, I don't know how to classify us. Some say like the three amigos, but whatever we are, I'm sure, I'm 64% sure that we'll stay like that for life. Now my family, my brother, I don't know how I can summarize this in like 5 seconds, but like, you know, lifetime, one true friend. You're my brother. A million inside jokes. Lifetime. You're my brother. My dad. So many of my life lessons have been learned by you, and you have and always will be the biggest role model in my life. And my mum, I wouldn't be able to stand or move forward if it wasn't for everything that you've given me. I can go on and on about my love for my family, but for the sake of the party, I would just like to thank Mitt for the music and Anoma for the cake. It's pretty much my life in a cake. It's so amazing, thank you. And lastly, I would just like to thank everyone for coming tonight. If there's a point that I'm making here, it's that life is important and it's just awesome to be living it with everyone here. So we have a Nintendo 64, we have music soon, we have a bar,
Yeah!
we have a room full of awesome people, and we have a dance floor, so let's utilize the shit out of this. Thank you. Alright, you just started.